America is on fire. In 2020, we went from World War III, Australia burning, a global pandemic that shut down civilization as we know it, and upon a brief reopening, another racist murder of a black man at the hands of police, and now mass chaos in response. And we must ask, is this who we are, America? Fuck yes. Fuck yes, America. This is who you are. Racist, corrupt, and degenerate, and it comes from ignoring the basic dignity of the citizens who comprise this nation, and it has been fomenting for a long time. Justice is the basic component of social structure. It's a core requirement for human civilization, and without it, shit breaks down, and people will demand it from their government. Hi, I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. I know that you normally come here for comics and not political rants, but that's what you're getting this week because this is my channel and I do whatever I want. I know nobody really needs another white guy's take on what's going on, but it's also pretty hard to talk about comics anymore on this given everything that's happening. Even though comics came out for the first time in 2 months, I would love to talk about that, but it's also really weird right now to be like, golly, what are the X-Men up to this week? Huh. So I have to ask, as a comic fan, and as a fan of things like Justice League and Justice Society, what does justice mean? Well, human beings started gathering together out of necessity in tribes because we're stronger as community. But people created systems of justice to right what we agreed were wrongs as a government or as a culture. And that was decided socially. Justice is inherently a social construct. And so our core concept of justice is born, righting of wrongs. So you take too much mammoth meat, or you don't want to join in the hunt, or, you kill somebody. Bye-bye, good luck living outside of the cave now, grunk. But, by and by, our societies developed, and some Egyptians, and some Greeks, and some monarchy, and some imperialism, and some revolution, and some genocide, and boom, we're at America, and America is a bitch. So this is how I, a white kid, learned what America is. I grew up in Lower Alabama, the son of transplanted Iowans, and my accent sounded really weird in the Deep South, but I was miles from the Florida border and I made friends, and some of them were white and some of them were black. And I didn't have a Nintendo, but invariably my friends always did, and it was good to have those friends and be able to play Nintendo with them. But I also had a lot of the X-Men that they didn't, so it kind of evened out. One time I had a friend over who called his parents to come pick him up when he realized that there was a black boy at my house. And one time a kid named Jeremy stopped talking to me forever because I was talking with a boy named Jabari about Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening during gym class. I was raised in a hardcore conservative evangelical Republican household, but my parents, to their credit, did not edit the friendships that I could have because they were not racists. And I realized the things that I was being asked to believe were incongruous with the reality that I was living and that my friends were living. If Jesus died for everyone's sins, why is our church congregation almost exclusively white? And later, as I grew older and was moved north with my parents, I saw the oddly quiet racism that existed in northern, predominantly white communities, buried deep inside of a casserole under layers of Iowa ice. It is there. It is deeper in some ways than it is in the South. In my life, I've bonded very closely with other men that I've been privileged to call friends over comics, anime, games. Pop culture in my life has been this shared, transcendent, universal American culture that I am thankful to have had become kind of a common language, a common community between people who have lived different experiences than I have. And that's why I'm so passionate about representation in comics and why it matters, because that means that everybody gets to play when they come over to your house. Seeing the very callous, conservative reaction to the death of Trayvon Martin had shifted something in me very powerfully. I was already apart from what were conservative values, but that was the moment that truly made me realize and grasp that people that I called friends lived in a state of perpetual danger, and that rocked my fucking world. And each recorded and televised death of men or women who could be friends of mine has radicalized me to a pretty substantial degree, to whatever degree the basic dignity of a human being should be a radical concept. But it is not enough to have opinions, especially not as white dude 643,924 action is necessary. So when people say these protests and riots are illegitimate, I ask you why you dismissed a man kneeling out of respect, asking for the same thing. When they gathered peacefully, why were they met with tear gas and rubber bullets, as people in my own city were tonight as I record this? Why are the police responding violently, knowing the response that they will receive in kind? Why are they escalating it? When people say that looters are destroying their community, I say Target and AutoZone are not your community. They are retail stores. People are your community. And when their lives are treated as disposable and taken, and their protests are ignored, and their respectful knees, their signs, their raised fists, their marches, their occasional but very justifiable anger, their perpetual anger, their demands to be taken fucking seriously as members of this nation, you must understand, white people, myself included, that you do not live their suffering, but they are your community. George Floyd, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Laquan McDonald, and countless others, they are our community. And if it takes destroying a 10,000-foot downtown retail outlet to get them justice, then so be it. But it should never have required that to get anyone's attention, because this has been going on for hundreds of years, literally. Justice is social, and to have justice requires the entirety of society to be on the same page, and that page is not controversial at all. It is an acknowledgement of the basic dignity of human beings, explicitly stated in the Declaration of Independence, which is that all men are created equal. That is to say that black lives matter. If that is difficult for you to say, then you have some self-examination to do. I hope that there is peace, and I hope that this leads to change, and I hope that police respond by acknowledging that they're listening and that they also want to make changes, because that is the only thing that will end these protests and these riots, is an acknowledgement that they are willing to change and that they're willing to submit to justice themselves. Thank you for watching, and if you're a subscriber who is upset and want to unfollow, then all right, thank you. Sit down and spin, fucko. Get the fuck out. Fuck the police. Power to the people, and thank you for watching. This has been the Doomcast. Peace.